Welcome back to part 3 of our Make an Alien tutorials with ZBrush Core Mini. We've got hopefully head and shoulders now, and you might have added some eyes and a nose to your character. Let's keep going with some of those other facial features and think about ears and mouths, and then what else we can add beyond that to make it look very alien-like. Okay, so let's look at ears first of all. We're going to switch to the Move tool for this one. And again, keep the intensity pretty high, but a brush that's fairly small to medium, so we're down around the 100 mark there, 112 houses, but you can put anything in that sort of area, will be fine. Let's rotate the model a little bit, so we're looking kind of almost slide on, but a slight angle there to where we want to add our creature's ear. And the Move tool just lets you grab and then gently kind of pull out the clay to create an ear. So ears are not too tricky. You can just, on one click at a time, tease that out until you're kind of happy with the rough size and shape. And then you can start to manipulate it a bit more and think about whether you want it to be a large or a small ear, or a rounded or pointy ear, or whether you want your lobes, that kind of thing. So again, you can get in closer as you start to add a bit more detail. Don't forget you can smooth this out as well. That's a good thing to stop and do that every now and again. Hold the Shift key down as you can move your model, get into some of those rough edges. And then to create the kind of ear cavities inside there, we can go back to our standard tool and make quite a small brush this time, down to around 25 there. And we're going to hold down the Alt key so we can push into the model here to start to kind of hollow some of these areas out. So if you're not sure kind of how this should look, take a look at each other's ears, and the way that we've got everyone's are a little different, but kind of nooks and crannies that go in there. So it's where your ear canal is, which is somewhere around that area, maybe a bit deeper. Again, remember it's alien, so it doesn't matter too much. It's kind of generally hollowing out, and leaving it quite uneven and bumpy is absolutely fine, because that's kind of how ears are. Create more of a lobe that hangs. You can tuck in that section there as well. So all this is with the Alt key held down, so I'm pushing into the model. We'll release the Alt key and go back to Shift just to smooth that out a little bit. And of course, don't forget to rotate your model just to check that you're happy with that from other angles. Smooth the back of the ear there. And down the seams of the kind of polygons that make up the model. And then rotate it back to the front and see if you're happy with those leaves that you've created. If you're fairly happy with the general shape, but maybe it's the position or size that you want to adjust a little bit, the Move tool lets you grab the whole thing. If you just put the size up to which of the circles are roughly the same size as the ear or slightly bigger than it, then you can just kind of grab the whole area of the clay then and stretch them down and move them around, tease them outwards. Think about the angle of your camera as you're doing this. I'm going to push the head inwards a little bit. So Move's a really, really useful tool to just make those sorts of adjustments. Even after you've added a feature, you can grab them and stretch them and move them around. If they become a bit too distorted, don't worry, you can just use Undo to get rid of those things. But you might even want to just start to make adjustments to the head as you're doing this as well, to start to get a better feel for what you want your character to be like now. Okay, I'm happy with that. At any point, save your work with the kind of the folder with the up arrow just under it here. It's worth doing that quite often while you're working. I'm just going to quickly save this one before we look at some other options. So we showed you how to create your own ears there. Again, let's just take away what we've done and look at the chisel option for that as well. So just like we saw some of the eyes and noses you can add in these chisel sections, you've also got ears of all sorts of different shapes and sizes. This is a kind of very elf-like ear with quite a pointy tip to it, so we'll have a look at see what this one looks like. Same thing, just click where you want to add for ears you want to leave the symmetry on, and just rotate them into position. I think I've got them perhaps back to front now. Let's try doing it on the other side. That's better. Looks like it needs a bit of smoothing now. Mouths, you'll find options in there as well. Mouths are probably one of the hardest things to model. You'll never go to do your own. The standard tool is the best one for that. Again, getting fairly close to do this. A fairly small thin brush, and just a single line across to begin with. And then holding down the Alt key, you can create the sort of lip hollows that we have there. Perhaps the second line just tucked under the first one. So we're just trying to create the lips really. A closed mouth is much easier to model than an open mouth. It becomes very difficult. Smoothing that out a little bit. And then things like the slash tool can help you just create the kind of lip line down the centre. Smoothing will just make that one look a bit more realistic. Let's take that away and show you some of the chisel options that are there for mouths. Lots of unusual ones to choose from. We've got ogre teeth and human mouths, vampire teeth in there as well, some quite peculiar looking ones. I'm in the chisel organic section here, and let's go for, well, I like the look of those ogre teeth actually. Like a mouth where the teeth are sticking up. But before I do that, I'll turn off the symmetry tool. We just want one mouth in the centre here. Look at that, very cool. So lots of options there for you to have a go with. If you want to stop the video now, have a go at adding some ears and a mouth to your creature.